of what truly matters, our families. Healthy families make healthy societies. I'm Randy.
And I'm Leslie. We're diving deep into the powerful insights of Dr. Randy's groundbreaking book, The Family Legacy: Shaping Culture from the Inside Out.
Hear inspiring stories and strategies to transform your family. We'll explore topics like communication, forgiveness, healing, parenting, marriage. We'll cover it all.
We'll have provoking conversations with experts, coaches, and real-life families who are benefiting from intentional family building.
This podcast isn't just about theories, it's about tools that you can implement today.
We all come from families, so this podcast is for you.
Join us on this incredible family journey. Subscribe now as we learn to do family as God designed.
Transforming families one episode at a time. Remember, whoever wins the family wins the culture in the end. Let's go. Greetings, everybody.
Hi there.
Welcome back to Transforming Families with Randy and Leslie. I am Leslie.
I'm Randy.
And today we're going to have a conversation around a year-end process that Dr. Randy developed some years ago. But this is a transformation tool. And so listen up, because this has the potential to really shift what your next year looks like.
Yeah, there isn't a business that's successful that doesn't, or a person that's successful, a church that's successful, a family that is successful that does not take the time to look back in the period past, we'll say a year at a time, and learn. What did we do well? What did we not do well? What can we do differently? What are we growing? And then look at how to make those shifts, as you said, and then inquire of the Lord. Hey, Lord, what do you want in all of this? And how do you want us to go forward? And then to look forward and set new goals. That process is essential for any successful enterprise. And I learned this a number of years ago, probably at least 15 years ago. And I just started to do this process myself. And then I started using it with my coaching clients. And they started saying, hey, did you make this into a program? I'd like to be able to give this away to other people or whatever. So a number of years ago, I did. And we have it again. We call it Periscope 360. And the reason for that is, Periscope comes out of the underwater where it's hidden, and it does a 360-degree look at the current state of things.
Yeah.
And so that's what this process is. And you say, well, why are you talking about a coaching tool on a family podcast? It's because we're encouraging you to do this process, and we love to do it at the end of the year. That's when we do it. We take the week, usually between Christmas and New Year's, and do it, but it works any time of the year. And how it works is we do 4 things in 6 areas. So we're just going to kind of talk you through it, and then we really want to focus in on why it's time for your family perhaps to have a fresh start. You ever like a fresh start?
Yes.
How many fresh starts have I had? Oh my gosh.
How many fresh starts do we do in any given day? I like the saying,
geez.
you can decide, you can choose to start your day over at any time.
That's the truth. And a fresh start, how many fresh times have I started a diet or said I'm going to improve my exercise, or I'm going to, improve my marriage, whatever. There are times where you just have to say, okay, what have I done? What's worked and what not worked? What can I learn? And how do I need to be different so that I can do different?
Yeah. And you just hit on something really important. How do I be different? At the end of the year, there's people do New Year's resolutions and, I'm going to start to hit the gym, or I'm going to drop that 20 pounds, or I'm going to start a new hobby, all the things that we say we're going to do. And the statistics are pretty clear. Most people, they make it.
Over 90% people give up on their New Year's resolution.
Yeah. And
statistically.
Yeah. In short order. And so what's different about this year-end process, and again, you can do this any time of the year, this is just a good time to introduce it, is it takes you deep into why you experienced the results that you had the year before, good, bad, and ugly.
Yeah.
And reaffirming with yourself, with God, what he sees for the moving forward and the how to get there.
Mhm.
That's the difference. We want to, what do you always say? We all want to be skinny,
Rich and happy.
skinny, rich and happy, right? But this is a process that actually helps you tap into that thinking deep in your heart,
Mhm.
that's producing the results that you have. Things that are out of your control are in your control.
Yeah.
Because life happens from us, remember.
Yeah. So the last part of that quote is because we have what we're really committed to already. So, in other words, I may want to have a better marriage, want to be skinny, rich, and happy, but I have what I'm most committed
Yeah,
to
that's
right
so
now.
important.
And there's a big difference between want and commitment.
Mm-hmm.
Want, by definition, means I'm lacking something, right? Where commitment says, I am committed. It is the full intention of my heart that I will take action as much as it depends on me in any one of those areas. So here's the process. Periscope 360, we usually start, for those people doing it the first time, we do what we call a life audit. And it's several questions that over the, a period of time, couple of weeks, maybe whatever, you survey your life. And you survey your life in 6 key areas. We do, number one area is the body, your physical health. How are you feeling? What are the challenges? Have you put on weight, lost weight? Are you exercising regularly?
Are you battling an illness? I mean, this is your full physical health. We take a look at what's really going on right now around our physical being.
In that area. And the second area is in our soul. So in our mind, will, and emotion. How's our mental health? How's our emotional health? How's our spiritual health? And we have that as one of the 6 categories. The next category is, the spirit part is a separate category on its own, spiritual health. Next is finances, right? There's a regular time of saying, okay, how are we doing? That's one metric of health and success. Along with the others is how are we doing financially? What's happening on the job front? What are we working toward, or where are the challenges, or what's going on there? Businesses do this. What are the new product lines? What are the new offers?
Yeah.
What are the research and development? So it's just a look at that part. Then is the next area, the 5th area, is relationships. And this is broad reaching, but obviously the closest ones to us. So relationships with your spouse, with your children, with the people in your inner circle, people that you have the most time and energy exchanged with.
Yeah.
It might be family, maybe coworkers, maybe ministry partners, whatever. And we evaluate those. And then finally is what we call governing our personal capacity. In other words, one of the things that we find working with a lot of people and ourselves is that how we steward our energy, or what we call our capacity, really is important. There are people, including us sometimes, who are so overcommitted or exhausted, or they're not getting everything done. They're trying to do too much. And the other side is true too as well. People that aren't doing enough aren't getting things done. But what is our capacity in life? How's our pace is really what that is. Are we doing too much, too fast? Are we at a good speed? Is everybody on the walk with us? We still with us? And
yeah.
So those 6 areas.
Yeah. And this is a look at the good, the bad, and the ugly. So it's not, around your physical health. Hopefully it's not all bad. Same thing with your soul, your spirit, your relationships. That governing personal capacity too is so crucial. We in a lot of our coaching, people will just come, and there's things that they want to accomplish, whether it's personal or business related, and they're just like, man, I just don't have enough time.
Yeah.
And so what part of this process takes you through an inventories. Where are we? All of us have 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Nobody has any more or any less.
That's true.
But this process takes you through to look at where you are spending your time, because it's your time is an asset.
Yeah, your time is your life.
Yeah.
Wherever you invest your time and your money, you've invested your life.
That's a true story.
That's what we exchange. We exchange our life for time and money.
Yeah.
And so those are good metrics. So here's what we do. There's the 6th area. We have this all out. There's a life audit electronic book. There is a full workbook that takes you through, and there are not just the teaching and the questions, but there are videos that work you through specific
Step by step.
experiences for how to change your thinking. But here are the 4 ways that we look at each of those 6 areas. The first is what we call the look back.
Mm-hmm.
And the look back is, and we do it a year at a time. So it's in the last year, I'm going to look back and we just write down what are the facts of this last year in all these 6 areas. What is? And then we look at, well, what were our goals? And how do we do? And where are we at now in our goals? And then we look at, okay, in that look back, what are all the facts and what are, what is? And then we take a moment and take that in and say, okay, this is what we created last year.
Yeah, and it's important to do that because you want to learn. Hopefully we all have this growth mindset where we're going, especially as believers, we're going from glory to glory to glory. Well, how do you do that? That's taking this look back and just a sobering, real, what were the facts of this last year so that you can learn from those. So if there were mistakes that were made, you've got a process. It's not like, oh gosh, I don't ever want to do that again. Well, how are you going to not have that happen
Ensure
again?
that doesn't happen.
Yeah, exactly.
And so we get to look back and then we do what we call the second part in every one of these areas, and that's the look in. And the look in is this reality where what was the thinking in my heart that created those results? Because that's what we teach and we believe fully is right from the Bible, that as a man or woman
think in their heart,
think in their heart, so are they. And that out of the heart flow the issues of life. So it's the world happens out here, but how I interpret the world, how I define it, how I respond to it, how I feel about it, all of that comes from inside of me. Leslie, it all comes from inside. And so it's a look with God at my thinking that created the good, the bad, and the ugly that I just wrote down on the list. Why is that important? Well, it's important because if we don't change the thinking, you can't change the results. And so we look at the thinking that produced good results, and then we look at the thinking that produced poor results. Maybe I was afraid to do something, or I avoided hard conversations or fixing relationships that were broken or making a job change. And because of that got some pain. So I'm feeling, well, that comes from, oh, wow, that was my fear to do something different or whatever. So we look back, then we look in, and then we look up.
Yeah.
And that's the thing where we come and say, okay, Father in heaven, Holy Spirit, search me. And what do I need to see from your perspective about what this last year was and what created it inside of me? What do you see that we need to change? Or because a change in doing always is preceded by a change in being.
And the being comes out of the knowing. We say know, be, do often. And this is an opportunity to listen from the one who knows everything and get his perspective. How does he think about your body? How does he think about your soul and your spirit, your finances and your relationships? And you get his mind. It's the mind of Christ around these key areas in your life. So that you know what God thinks, you personify that, you embody,
become it.
You become what he thinks about you, and your doing is shifted out of that. There's so many of us, even in the church, it's this outside in. Well, if I'm going to church and I'm not stealing and I'm not smoking, I'm doing all the knots or not doing all the knots, right? Then I'm going to be okay on the inside. And really it's the opposite. Jesus taught the opposite is
yes,
true.
Did.
We are transformed by the renewing of our mind, and our mind lives in that soul part of us, our mind, our will, and our emotions. So it's crucial. It's kind of puzzling that as believers, oftentimes getting God's thinking around something is the last thing we do.
Yeah. And we've
tried everything else, we've sought out, we've read all the books and we've talked to all the people and we've done all the things. And it's like, wonder what God thinks about that.
So true. And we finally then end this with the look ahead. And that is in each of these areas with Holy Spirit and the learning, we plan for what are we going to be, what are we going to do in the next year. And we have used this process together for several years now. We make major life decisions, major business decisions, major moving decisions, major family investments. We make major decisions based on this process every year with each other and with God. And I mean, we guard this time because it's precious to us to be able to get that perspective and live life intentionally. You know, a lot of people don't. A lot of people just say, well, whatever,
Go with the flow.
and that's okay. But that has costs and benefits, like every choice does. And what we have learned, and there's now hundreds of people that have bought this tool and are using it in their lives, and we get feedback on a regular basis that, wow, that was so important. I mean,
I'm so focused now. I have such insight into what this last year, what really happened this last year. Boy, anybody that's, gosh, over any age, I can't even put a number on it. We know that our time is, we have limited time. It's not just the 24 hours in a given day. It's the span of a lifetime. And those of you who've raised kids, you know, it's those endless hours, the day that never ends. When your kids are little, to, oh my gosh, where did the time go? They're grown, right? Like this is being intentional with that time that we have, because it'll slip away. And our lifetime, people don't look back at the end of their life and say, gosh, I wish I'd have made, well, it might be more money, but I wish I'd have spent more time with my kids, or, you know, I wish I had been intentional about leaving legacy, or whatever those things are. And that happens through intentionality. It happens through intelligence and insight. It's that Proverbs.
Yeah. And so we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, though, we're going to dial this into why this is so important for your family.
Yeah.
Because this is part of transferring the legacy so that all of our enterprises succeed and have, you know, lasting impact. We teach our kids to live life this way. I remember this quote before we go to break. Here it is. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. We'll be right back.
Are you tired of feeling disconnected from your spouse or children? Do you want to create a home filled with love, joy, and purpose? In this fast-paced, crazy world, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters: your family. The Family School is here to guide you on this incredible journey based on Dr. Randall Bixby's best-selling book, The Family Legacy: Shaping Culture from the Inside Out.
The Family School provided us with the tools and strategies to build a healthy family culture. It's amazing to experience the transformation.
The Family School is a game changer. Our communication has improved, along with our ability to forgive and stay connected. We now have a blueprint to raise our son and teach him how to lead his own family one day.
The support and community at the Family School are incredible. We're not alone in this journey.
Family School has impacted our family relationally by transforming how we interact with each other, improving our communication skills to create a safe environment for everyone to be open and fully themselves.
At the Family School, you'll discover biblical strategies, practical tools, and a supportive community that will empower your family to thrive.
Enroll in the Family School today and embark on a life-changing adventure. Through interactive classes, personalized coaching, and transformative resources, you'll learn practical techniques to heal, grow, and thrive as you build your family in God's design. Visit our website at www.thefamilyreformationproject.com. Start shaping your family's legacy now.
Join the Family School today. Learn to do family by design. All right, Randy and Leslie here, back transforming families. And before we went to the break, we left you with how you can make this next year your best year ever. That is not an oversell. That's not a exaggerated statement. You think, well, how can that be? Well, as we get insight from God and as we get his heart and mind on these areas of our lives and make plans with him, and then in agreement with each other, move forward, we're able to create some new outcomes and improve things. And right down below in the notes, in the discussion, notes underneath the podcast, There's a link to where you can find this product and where you can have it. You buy it once and you have it. You can use it every year forever. And again, there's a workbook that's electronic. There's a life audit. We throw a bonus in there of another teaching that we do called the 6 Secrets of Legacy Leadership. If you're into leadership, there's some more really good videos and teaching in that. But we want you to understand, and this is important, every one of these 6 areas affects one unit more than anything else.
Yeah.
All of them affect your family. And your family affects all of them. How you are in your health affects your family.
You bet.
Affects the money you spend. It affects the vitality you have, your energy, how long you're around, so many things. It affects the mental, emotional, and health of the will for you, your spouse, your kids, and right on down the line, your spirit, your finances, your relationships. How we are doing this life matters more than anything to our family.
Yeah.
We are not isolated. So we're doing this on an individual basis, but really, it really is for the whole family.
And you're also demonstrating, like we talk a lot about legacy, and I think we're gonna talk a little bit more about our upcoming next cycle of family schools.
Yeah.
But you're teaching in everything that you do and everything you don't do. You are leading by example. Your kids are watching you. They are experiencing life through those primary people, which are their parents. So it matters. Some people think, well, I'm not doing anything. My spouse and I, we don't fight. And, we take the kids to church on Sunday and we drive them to soccer practice. And is that enough?
Well, that's wonderful. And if that's where it is in your family, that's great. And that's the question. Is that enough? And not based on some person's idea of what family is, but based on the design that God had in mind when he made the family. We talk about this through all of our podcasts, all of our work, and we talk about this in the family school. And that's the reason for the family school. I will say this. If you have a desire to have a healthy family, we believe everybody has that desire, by the way, unless they've maybe been wounded or they just want to avoid, or they've given up. A lot of people have given up hope on their family. And we're here to say there is hope. And the hope comes when we take the time and the energy to look with God and each other at all these areas, look back, look in, look up, look ahead, and make plans that agree with God around how we're going to do family better.
I just have the sense that there's people listening that are just kind of getting sick to their stomach. Like, oh, if I do something like this, God's just going to beat me up. I had a bad year and I'm bad because I had a bad year. And I want to encourage you, the way this program is designed, you are going to discover a more intimate relationship with your Creator that you have more so than you had before.
Yeah.
Because so much of this processing is really listening to the heart of God. And I can't remember. I think it was Tozer who said the quote, like, what you think about God is the most important thought you will ever have. So if you're out there and you're feeling, that churning in your stomach, like, this would be too painful. I want to, God has so much more for your life than the experience you had this last year.
Yeah. I just want to say one last thing. Please hear, don't shut us out yet. If you have a desire to improve your family, you feel disconnected from your kids or your spouse, you have concerns, worries about your children, the choices they're making, and they may be adult children. We're not talking about just little children, right? We're talking about our families of any ages, of our kids of any ages. Maybe we have concerns about our parents even, and what's going on. And you're wondering, and here's what people say to us a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of things that we need to improve, be different, or do better. I don't know that I'm passing on that. but I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it. We get that excuse, and it is an excuse. Now, it might be real. They might not know in the moment, but they actually do know. And we're going to give you a suggestion. If you want to improve your family and learn skills and teach your children life skills and see how God does family by design, join us in the family school. We have another cycle that's just about starting. And it is a robust, intentional, fun time of Zoom classes with other people that are doing family, that we teach our exercises, which are experiences that you do with your kids and your family. And they're fun, most of them.
They're fun.
Some of them are fun, but they're serious too, some of them. And the result that they bring is they connect your family and help you to heal, grow, and thrive while teaching your children to do the same for their children. So this is a major shift in the family legacy. And that's the choice. You say, well, I want all that, but I don't know what to do. Here's what to do. Join us in the family school.
Yep. We're starting classes coming up here in January. Check out the link below, guys. Just check it out. Poke around in the class. This is an opportunity to really shift the trajectory of your family. Again, doesn't matter where you are in your process. You know our story. We didn't start using this until our kids were grown. We're a blended family. There was already a lot of wreckage, and you can shift your family. And do it today. Sign up and start making those changes and see what God can do in your life.
It's the Periscope 360 year-end process and the family school. Hope you'll join us. Remember,
whoever wins the family
wins culture in the end. We'll see you next time.
And that wraps up another inspiring episode of Transforming Families with Randy and Leslie. We hope that today's conversation has left you feeling empowered and equipped to take action.
Remember, transforming families begins with transforming ourselves. Let's be intentional, loving, and persevere. You're not alone. We're right here with you.
We believe Proverbs 24:3, wise people are builders. They build families, businesses, and communities. Through intelligence and insight, their enterprises are established and endure.
Thanks for joining us today. We encourage you to stay connected with us on social media, join our email list, and learn more about our resources and classes at the Family School by visiting thefamilyreformationproject.com.
Remember to subscribe, share with your loved ones, and spread the word about transforming families. We'll see you on our next episode. And remember, whoever wins the family wins the culture in the end.